Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. This is Blair, your cancer care bear, and I am back after a month of being away. I am back and I'm on a new network, ACAST podcast, so I want to give a first shout out to them. And today, this evening on this episode 41 of In the Blair podcast, it's a true vibe that's about to happen. So those listening, as always, I appreciate you and thank you. We have a very special guest co-host with me on this episode. One who I known for some time. Some of you may know, some of you may don't. I like to think of him as my light-skinned friend, light-skinned twin, more to speak. And I'll let him introduce y'all. Let him introduce himself.
Yo. Mic check. Y'all can hear me. We live.
We
live. What's going on, man? It's your boy, Phokis, a.k.a. Phokis Music, a.k.a. Chip, a.k.a. him. What's going on with y'all, man?
Yeah, man. This is a real honor, man. Like, it's kind of like, I like to always say, like, history in the making, because not only is this your first time on In the Blair podcast, this is the first time we actually get to share with the people the things that we talk about, and first, like I said, we know it's you, Fo, what I know you as, a.k.a. VA's hottest rapper, a.k.a. my light-skinned twin, a.k.a. Stark, a.k.a. OVO Fo. I do want to say, I do appreciate you having this talking conversation as / interview with me, man. Like I said, we go way back. People who don't know that we did go to the, we are from the same area, which is the 757 area, particularly Hampton, Virginia. Spent some time in Kickertan at the same time, but at that time we did not really know each other. But I do want to first get into who Phokis is and how did you get that name, and it's pretty much who you are today and from who you are then.
Okay, well, shit, I mean, to be honest with you, my handle, the Phokis name, really came from me always. I guess people say I used to emulate Jay-Z, like how I would rap, like my style, like even when I come on the beat, and I do all that, and I do everything. Because I love Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that I was walking with a friend one day. He was coming from school. This is in high school shit. It was maybe like 10th grade. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yo, your name is cool and all of that, but, yo, you should probably change your name. Like, change it to, like, you always talk about how I'm focused, man. Why don't you change it to Phokis? I was like, Phokis, like that's like a verb, like. But then I thought about it, and I was like, yo, that might be kind of fire. And I was like, you know what? Let's do Phokis, but let's spell it different. And then I went through like a million different spellings, even though I think it's only like about 6 real ways you can spell it. And I finally came up with Phokis, and I just started branding that, and I was like, yo, from now on, address me as Phokis.
But yeah, I actually remember when it's kind of funny because this is kind of, and this is kind of how authentic I always appreciate you being, because I remember, like I said, we didn't know each other then, but I used to always hear you because sometimes you would ride the bus with us. So, you're like, it's your boy Phokis, because back then, back in high school days for me, I was a quiet kid, so I was in the back of the bus 10 or whatnot, and I used to always hear you up there because we I think at the time. I think it was what was it, Mary Mac something, but now I don't even remember the name of it now because it's been so long since I've been down that way. But it was like right, yeah, Carrybrook, exactly, Carrybrook, yes, yep. So now, what was your name at first when you first started rapping, and what really got you into rapping?
Man, okay. So we're going back that far. All right. So when I first started rapping, so when I first started rapping, right, so I didn't really have a name. That's probably around like 12 years old. But when I really started rapping, putting the pen to the page, I came up with an acronym. It was Trey, but the acronym was TRAE, and I made it stand for the Real All Around MC. And everybody just was calling me Trey, you know, and it was like, yo, Trey, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it was, you know. And I ran with that for a while. Like I said, up until 16. I think about 16 years old, I changed my rap name to Phokis.
Okay. And yeah, Trey. I'm gonna be honest. I actually like that all around real MC. So with that, with you being so young into rapping, I know you mentioned Jay-Z. Now, me personally, you know, I listened to rap back then, like when I was like 12, 13, but how did you, like, what other influences, like what other rappers and artists influenced you to say, okay, this is what I want to do?
Bruh, I'm gonna be honest with you, that answer is so complex. I'm gonna break it down to you like this. I was so infatuated with flow. Like, I always have been big on flow. And I love the way how different people would rap their raps. Like, once I really started listening to what they were saying, I found it fascinating how many different ways they could rhyme words and rhyme their last two words or rhyme this word early and spit it a little faster. I was always infatuated with that. So I say all that to say, I originally started listening to Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was listening to Tupac, I liked how he flowed because he flowed what I like to call off the snare. Like he would rarely ever, y'all can fact check me. Y'all can go right now and listen. Tupac would rarely rhyme on a snare like boom, 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 boom. He would never rhyme his word on the snare. He'd always rhyme it on the kick. And I was like, okay, I see how he does that. So then I started listening to other people and I saw how they did it. And so it was just like a mix of people. I can't say it was one person, bro. Like, I do remember though, Tupac was who I started listening to because my mama, she always listened to Tupac.
Right.
And then I gradually started gravitating towards DMX. I was listening to DMX. And when I listened to DMX, rest in peace to DMX, for sure, 100%. I listened to him. I listened to Prodigy. I listened to a lot of people, bro. Jay-Z, of course. I listened to Nas. I just had to go back and do some research, you know, moving on and moving forward. But it wasn't really one particular person. I just was addicted to flow. I had to listen to different flows, and I wanted to learn them all so I could make my own.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of interesting, man. It's kind of wild that you mentioned Tupac and then DMX, you know, because, you know, I believe yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of his passing. And even myself, I sometimes often forget, maybe because it's like, you know, we kind of see him, like when he got a little older. I'm sorry?
I want you to tell you something real quick.
Yeah.
Like, when you say about DMX, I want to throw this in there. I actually had the opportunity to meet DMX.
Oh, wow, man. How was that? Now, that's something that, you know, how was that?
I'm gonna give you an exclusive. So I was at the Cash Money Rough Riders tour. I forget the year exactly, but it was at the Hampton Coliseum. Y'all can check the date. I was at the Cash Money Rough Riders tour, and I went to go see them, obviously, and enjoy the concert. And afterwards, DMX was outside in the back of the Coliseum because they had like a little loading area where like the acts would come in and they would load all their stuff and go in the back of the building. He was back there, and there was like mad women over there at his bus, and he was talking to him. He was, oh my God, DMX, oh my God. There was some dudes over there too, just such a crowd. And I've never been the type of person to blend in with the crowd. Like, I always kind of wanted to stand out, so I felt kind of awkward. So when the crowd finally started dying down, DMX started walking onto the bus, that kind of like got my feelings a little bit. Mind you, what I'm saying? I'm still a kid. Like, I wasn't even 16, and I was maybe like, shit, I don't know, bro. Maybe like 14, 13 years old.
So you was still Trey, huh?
I was still Trey.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, that's crazy, DMX. You got time for the fans, but you don't got time for your real fans or something. I said something crazy to him. And he like stopped as he was walking onto the bus. And he like, I saw his shoulders rise. He took like an exhale. He was like, and he turned around. He was like, yo, what's going on? Traditional DMX voice is not an act. This is how he talks. He's like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I told him like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm Trey, whatever, big fan, man. I bought your album, my favorite joint, man. And then there was X was his album, I believe, at the time.
Wow, yeah.
And he was like, Trey, yo, so would you rap? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, do you rap to teach? I was like, shit, I think so. He was like, yo, when you rap, you gotta rap to teach. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get out of here though, man. But I just want to tell you, you rap. You gotta rap to teach. I was like, okay. So, and then after that, he dapped me up. You know what I'm saying? He threw a cigarette and he went back onto the bus. And from there, I always told myself, yo, I'm always gonna rap. I'm always gonna try to teach them.
That's very interesting. The crazy thing about this, and this is where it gets even a little bit more personal, is you being a young artist, very impressionable, and to meet someone like DMX, because even then, because it was almost like, he was just, from the time he came out, just this big, walk of life.
Brand new then.
Yeah,
he came out in 98.
But you gotta remember, like, even then, like before, like even then, because he was like seemed to me, he still seemed like larger than life, because you gotta think like, right, like kind of like almost not immediately after he dropped, but he was started doing movies, like he was in Romeo Must Die. But for you to be a 14-year-old kid rapper coming up, and then he said you rap to teach. And at the time, even Trey, as dope as that name is, that has a little bit of ego in it. And I know it's rapping, and even back in those times in the 90s, that's what rap was about. But then to transition into Phokis and your high school years, being older, and it was like, and now that you tell me this story, it's like, man, just the way this is just the way that I see it. It all comes back around where it's like focus. Like when you think of focus, you don't think it's spelt the way it's spelt, but it's being an artist, you got to get a little creative. But that is more of a humbling name, and me being not just someone who knows you personally and a friend, but like as a fan, like your music, just to me, it does touch people, which I'm going to also get into as far as the music. So, you met DMX, rest in peace to DMX. You mentioned Tupac, rest in peace to Tupac. And these was like two, and people was a lot of people was comparing X and Pac at the time. Not just because they bald or whatever, but just these guys originally from New York, just down to earth guys. I didn't have the pleasure to meet Pac. I didn't have the pleasure to meet DMX. Two rappers who they hard when they got beat, but just they have that sensitivity and softness from just the stories that I hear from other artists, from guys who knew them, and also to be to be able to transcend past music. To me, like I said, Pop was he passed, like he was 25. Like it's like sometimes even when I look at old videos or something, like, man, I can't believe he was man, it's because he seemed like older, but same thing with X, like he was consistent. So my thing, being that you told that story, that it's like that makes me think about a lot of the music that you have now, a lot of music that you released back in times, which I do want to ask. When did you start when did that start resonating with you? Because I don't know if you was one of those kids where you was listening, or if you was one of them say, oh, I'm gonna do what I want. Because again, you said you was 16 when you changed your name. So when did you actually start releasing rapping to teach mostly? If you can remember.
Like as far as like putting it in my bars, or as far as like actually releasing it to the people?
Yeah, just when did you decide to kind of use that advice in your own music?
I mean, to be honest with you, it was almost immediate because, I mean, like I told him, I was being real. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I guess I rap and teach. But to me, that was like the standard. So it wasn't like a button I had to hit. Right. It wasn't like he was saying, like, yo, do you rap to teach? And I had to be like, oh, no, shit, let me go ahead and go to rap to teach mode. Like, nah, that was how I rap because what I listened to was rapping to teach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listened to Tupac. Right. And if you listen to a Tupac song, you're going to learn something. If you're learning, it means he taught it. So I emulated my style or at least my cadence off of his teaching. But I got my style and stuff like that from like Jay-Z and different people like Mobb Deep and Biggie, like different people. I took those flows and I created an interesting way to listen, but I was still getting the teaching message across. So I guess to answer your question, as soon as I started recording raps and like, whether it was on tapes, because, then we had, like, tapes, and how you would do it is you would play, like, you would get your boombox, and you would get, like, a blank tape. This is real old school. You get, like, a blank tape that had, like, 120 minutes on one side.
Yeah, I remember those. On one side, yeah. Wow.
And I would play the music from, like, the computer or something, and then I would rap over that, and I would just rap it over the tape, and, if you fucked up, you had to start over. So I can cuss up here, right?
Of course, man. It's a podcast, man. This isn't radio.
Okay. I just had to ask. I gotta be formal. But no, like if you fucked up, then you would just have to start over. But ever since I started doing the tapes, yeah, and then I would play the tapes for my personal use, unless it's like a friend or something came over. Remember, I was still a kid. Unless a friend came over, and I would just listen to it back, and I'd be happy about it. I just listen to myself and keep critiquing myself. Okay, change this. You messed up your breath here. You got to do this different here. And there was always just from now on, man, there was always rap to teach for me. Even if I was like making a rap for a shorty, like if I had a girl or something I was into, if I made a rap for her, I still would be rapping to teach her. Like, yeah, you need to build me because of this. You see what this is, you see what that is, you see what I got, you see what you don't got, you better learn. Like, it'll still teach you.
Yeah, I feel you, man. That's real, man. Is there anything that you would, any advice you would pass down to any artist that's trying to come up and up their bars and just trying to break out in the industry, or at least or just a young kid trying to be a rapper?
I would say find a balance, because the thing is nowadays the way how it's formulated or the way how it's laid out, it's like it's a template, and it's like that template is cool if you know how to follow it. Like when I say template, I mean as far as like how you flow. It's fine to follow that template and say nothing in order to create a record to get on. But if you do that, you have to have a strong back. Like, let me say that differently, because I don't want to say nothing. You're going to be saying something. But if you really want to get a specific message across, and you really want to talk to people, and you really want to get a rap out and have people listen to your rap, you have to have a main objective. Like, for instance, Cassidy did the Hotel record, but everybody knew still at the end of the day Cassidy was a street MC.
Yeah.
You have to find a balance. To me personally, I don't think he found the balance because he hit people with too many of those records. But everybody still knew him as a street MC. So for me, if I was to drop a record, like, if you go to like phokismusic.com, PHOKIS music.com, and you listen to a record like Do You Love Me, I found the balance in making it a fun song to listen to, but at the same time, I still gave you a message. You have to find the balance. Your song can't be all pop. Even if you have a commercial song, you have to have something in there that speaks on who you are. And that's why I always loved Nelly. Nelly was another MC that I loved listening to because he had a really fun style of rapping, but he had a message in his raps that was really saying something. Like every one of his raps on his album, no matter how entertaining or pop you thought it sounded, Nelly had a message. Nelly was a real hood nigga. Like, if you look at the Country Grammar video, that was a hood-ass video, bro. Yeah. It was old school slabs, regular chicks in short shorts bouncing around. There was dudes in oversized clothes. That was a hood-ass video. Yeah. But it was a pop song. So I don't know if that really answers your question or not. But
yeah, it does. I actually got to go back and listen to it because I actually like Nelly, man. But I didn't really.
Nelly's a goat, bro.
I didn't really. Yeah, he is, and I didn't really I didn't really. At the time, like, I didn't really hear. I liked a lot of his records. Like, I love that record he had with him and Tim McGraw, man. Because again, I'm a Cancer, and then I'm also sensitive, man. I'm a ladies' man, so I like them guys that be singing like Ja Rule, the Nellies, and 50 Cent, and all those dudes, the Drake. So like when you and when you said to mention the Cassidy thing, and even with him being a hood dude, do you think that him being originally coming from the battle rap scene is part of the reason why he didn't really kind of get his flowers as far as being just one of those commercial artists?
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was that when he came out, we wanted him to come out and be like, all right, how 50 Cent came out, he came out with Wankster, right?
Yeah.
Cassidy needed a Wankster. Because 50 was hot in the streets. Think about it. 50 was hot in the streets. He was hot with the mixtapes, DJ K, Slave, Funk Flex.
Yeah.
By the time Get Rich or Die Trying dropped, if he would have dropped Hotel and a bunch of fucking, all that shit that he dropped later, if he would have dropped all that first, we wouldn't have respected it the same.
Right.
50 came out with a street album and still gave you a song for the ladies, 21 Questions. You know what I'm saying? He gave you a street album, and he gave you what you wanted from him. We wanted Cassidy to give us a street album, a polished. What we wanted from Cassidy was a polished mixtape. We wanted a commercial mixtape. That's what we wanted. We wanted those raps, those flows. He gave us Hotel, which was a super powered song. It had Swiss beats on the beat. It had R. Kelly on the hook. It had him rapping his raps. But, we kind of really don't remember what Cassidy was talking about in that song. We remember Swiss Beats did a hot beat. We remember If You Wanna Come to My Hotel. But besides that, we don't really remember his bars.
Yeah.
Look at Wankster. We remember the bars from Wankster.
Yeah.
Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to you? That's what we wanted from Cassidy. That's the best way I could break that down, man. If you known for something, come out with what you known as, but find the balance. That's what I would tell any young rapper, any new rapper. I am known for freestyling. I'm known for the battle shit. But at the same time, I have to make it a song that everybody can listen to. I have to figure out a way to balance all of that into one track,
Yeah, dude. It's kind of funny you said that because I got to take it back for a second. I remember a conversation me and you had this was a couple of years ago. And, I don't know if we was talking about Chris Brown or not, but you had mentioned talking about with certain artists, it's whatever you come out as, it's kind of they gonna people are gonna put you in a box. So it's kind of good. It's kind of, you want to kind of come out with, have a balance when you're coming out. Because again, 50 had those street records. Then when Massacre dropped, he had, he kind of started having those records for the ladies, records that but he had in the club. So he always had records you could play in the club. But I think the thing, and I don't know if it was more of the consistency. Because you mentioned Hotel with R. Kelly, and then I know he had that one song with Mashonda, Me and You. And I think that was a good song. But like you say, it's I guess the expectation. Now with you, which we're going to...
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it don't get no better.
Yeah. And now, and I'm glad you brought up the, the battle rap. You're also, you're known for freestyle, but you're also known for battle rapping. As unfortunately I wasn't able to witness any, but when did you start battle rapping, and how did you kind of get decide to say, okay, this is what I want to do? Because I know of course it was after you started rapping, but how did you get into battle rapping, and what was how did you get started in that?
Well, see, this was the thing. I at school, right? I was in middle school, and in middle school, it was always a thing to be able to freestyle.
Right.
So we would always have like little freestyle competitions and shit like that. And it wasn't like a battle, but it was just kind of like, is your freestyle better than mine? Like, it wasn't personalized. It wasn't like I said, damn, man, your jersey faded just like your, whatever. It wasn't like that. It was just like, is my freestyle better than yours? And I was honing my skills then. By the time it is I got to high school, battling was somewhat relevant because they used to have battles on it had like an HBO special or something. Like back then, TV still was a little advanced if you had like a certain program.
Yeah.
But it was like these little battles they would have on like a little special, like little 2-on-2s. And I remember back then, shout out to Thesaurus and shout out to Ilmac. Thesaurus and Ilmac was 2-on-2 specialists that they used to have battles against up there. I think it was Scribble Jams they was battling on back then. But anyway, I would watch that, and then I was just like, well, I'd probably do this shit. So, like, I would pop a lot of shit when I got to Kickintown, and people would say they could freestyle, too. So, we would have little battles. And then I got, like, a little buzz with my name, and it was like, yo, like, son is actually kind of nice. I was like, yeah, you damn right I am. So, what's up?
Yeah.
So, I got my man, whatever we got to do to get him. I was like, okay, cool. When y'all want to do this? They'd be like, all right, lunch period tomorrow, first lunch. We had 2 lunches. They'd be like, all right, first lunch. So sometimes I had to sneak out of class to go to first lunch.
I remember that.
And we go out to the courtyard, and there'd be like a little crowd out there and shit because everybody hear about it. And they'd be like, oh, shit, okay. Then I go out there and I cook somebody, and then the word of travel, like, yo, he just fucked him up out here. You know what I'm saying? They may have said it in those words and other words, but either way, I fucked him up. So then more people would try to battle me. They'd be like, oh, no, I want to battle him now. I didn't really care who it was. I didn't care if it was nice, if it was whack. Just whoever stepped up to the plate, they got their shit tossed. So that's how I started. Probably one of the most infamous battles I had because I actually battled this guy 3 times. And shout out to my guy. He's actually a cool dude, man. Like I really fuck him to this day. There's a white dude named Greg, and I battled Greg 3 times. The first time I destroyed him. The second time he had an amazing performance, but I rebutted and I taught him something. Then in that third time, he tried to start rebuttaling me. That was probably our closest battle. But I beat him all 3 times. And I like to say, and anybody who is this, they can definitely pull my card on this. I walked out of that high school situation undefeated. I battled people at Kickintown. I battled people at Phoebus when I got transferred. I battled people at Hampton. I battled people in the streets. There's only one loss in the entire world I can actually say I've ever taken.
And who was that from?
That was about, I want to say 6, 7, 8 years later from a world-known battle rapper, Hollow the Don. And that's my guy.
Shout out to Hollow the Don. You know, I'm like again, I'm not a one of those religious fans like yourself, which I'm gonna actually talk about them. But I'm familiar with Hollow the Don. For those who are similar to me, he battled a lot of guys like Lux, Surf, not most recently, but a couple years ago he did battle Joe Budden. Hollow the Don, LOM, loyalty over money. Shout out to Hollow. How did you meet him? Like, how did you encounter him?
So me and Hollow was cool before, like, all right, so Hollow, it's public knowledge. Hollow had gotten some trouble with the law, so he had to sit down for a minute. And I was writing him when he was in jail or whatever. And we were just talking back and forth, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was, trying to hold him down against the conversation, tell him to keep his head up and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it wasn't even about battle rap for me. Like, it was somebody who was going through some shit and needed an ear. And I was his ear, and, he was mine. And, by the time he got out, Smack had booked him for a battle almost like immediately after he got out. This is maybe like 2013. He battled Sue Surf at noon 3. And I told him, I was like, yo, I want to come back. I want to come out to your first battle out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to come out and support you. He was like, I bet. So, I came out there, you know what I'm saying? He set me up a little situation. Shout out to him. Shout out to Friday. That's his homie that held me down while I was out there. I went out to New York. I stayed out there for, I want to say, 2 or 3 days. I stayed out Queens, Astoria, Queens. Shout out to Queens. I ran into him. When I bumped into him, as soon as I got to the crib that he was at, I was in the crib with Big T, another battle rap. Shout out Big T. O-Red was there. Shout out to O-Red. And Friday was there. And as soon as he opened the door, when I knocked on it, they was in there drinking and shit, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do. Hollow just started rapping. And I was like, damn, like, I don't get a chance to walk him down. He's like, nah, out the gate. He just started rapping. So immediately I started rapping back. When I started rapping back, Big T sat up. He was like, oh, y'all battling. I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, you damn right we are. I'm battling still at the door. I haven't walked in yet. And, you know, I had a decent round to rebuttal back to him. Like, the first round was really close. And then the second round, he just started rebuttaling. He just picked me apart. I had on, like, I was driving in, like, comfortable wear and shit. I think my pants, like, had a rip in them or something. I had, like, my Newports and my, everybody knows, like, the patent cigarette carton imprint. You know what I'm saying? He made a line about that. He said something, you'll get ripped just like your jeans. Like, he just picked me apart. And I rapped back, but it wasn't nothing compared to his round. And I just like, bro, I'm tired, bro. You got it. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I don't got a third.
Oh, wow.
I was tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just drove from VA to New York, and I got there maybe like 11 at night. Like, I was tired.
Yeah.
So,
that's fair.
Big T was like, damn, man, I wish we could have recorded that. You know what I'm saying? It would have been good for him, you know, like, you know, for like, you know, something he could take, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some type of fandom. I was like, you know, nah, you know, I was like, nah, I ain't even for that. Like, we was talking shit forever, whatever. So, you know, that ain't happening. You know, I think we had like Patron. There was some type of light, like we had Patron or Goose or something. And we was just drinking for the rest of the night. And, you know, me and Friday went back to his crib. We chilled. Him and Surf had a battle a couple days later, and that's what it was. It's funny, too, because I had an ex. I ain't even going to mention her name, but I had an ex. Me and her, we had went to Philly, and maybe, like, not even a year later, and Hollow was actually out at an event in Philly. I was texting him, and he was like, yo, I'm out Philly, too, right now. I got a party right now with Mike Zombie.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay. I was like, well, shit, you know what I'm saying? Me and Shorty can pull up. And, you know, we actually pulled up. We hung out there. We chilled. We took some pictures. We talked. We drank. It was a nice little rekindling, you know what I'm saying? Me and him, we still talk to this day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. Yeah. Hollow's a solid dude.
Yeah, you met, so you pretty much, and you met him as a fan, like you just writing him just, you know, just as a fan, just trying to show your support and stuff, man.
Yeah, because see, Hollow was rapping and battle rapping for a long time before I even figured out who he was.
Yeah, that's real. I gotta say that, man. Like, that's real because I think about that sometimes too. It's like, you know, there's certain artists, and you know, just, you know, not I ain't even gonna say famous celebrities, but there's certain people that we see and we might admire on some level, and like when they run to, because sometimes I'll be like, man, there's some people that had got, you know, hemmed up from the law, and I'd be like, man, how would I write this? Like, how do I get kind of the person just to kind of be like, hey, you know, I'm a fan, you know, because again, when you're out, sometimes you actually have a more advantage when you're able to sit down. Like when you're out and about, like him being a battle rapper, like with him being, you know, locked up or whatnot. I mean, there's a good chance that, you know, if he was out just, you know, out doing his thing before, he might have not even been able to respond. Because it's like, who's gonna, like, you know how people are sometimes when you get locked up, you know, you actually find out who is actually there for you when you're in a bad situation. And you just being someone who was probably like a fan of his, just like came up and then, you know, he replied, man, I gotta salute you and I gotta salute him, man, because, you know, that's kind of unheard of. You don't really hear nothing like about that now. I mean, of course we get fan mail and stuff, but like when you're doing hard time, I never been in jail or nothing, but I hear stories and I can imagine, you know, like any type of, you know, that's what keeps you going while you're in there, is the love and the support for people, and for someone who you don't even really know on a personal level yet. It's like, man, that's, you know, that kind of.
We gotta think, just to put it in perspective, not even cut you off, like, But when you like in like a cell or whatever situation you in, like whether you in population or you just doing a weekend or whatever, you have probably some of the most soberest thoughts in the world. Like you start to see everything for what it is.
Oh yeah.
But when you got to sit down for some time, like I'm talking about like 30 days or more, people looking at 30 days like, oh man, my nigga, he did 3 to 5. I'm like, well, you got to still think like somebody who's used to being free.
Yeah.
30 days of sitting doing nothing but reading and working out is a lot for somebody. Yeah. Especially when you're only being fed and given enough water just to keep you alive. Like, yeah. So when I look at it like that, that's how I saw it even in my younger days, in my young age. I met Hollow when I was maybe like 22, 21. So it's like...
So you was already out of school and graduated and already been doing a battle rap thing, already then became a big name, but this was before, you know, I think around the time, I don't know when you had got the tag Virginia hottest rapper, but, you know, you was already like known on the scene as battle rapper, as rap photo artist and stuff,
Yeah, I was known around here, but it's just like when I realized how big the world was as far as hip hop, right? I was just like, you know, I gotta kind of take my show on the road somehow, and you know, but yeah, I got that tag maybe I want to say about around 18, 19, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I went ahead, I made it my AOL and all that. Shout out to AOL.
Yeah.
Hollow, I met him. Hollow is like 2 or 3 years older than me, I think. Because I'm 35. Hollow, I believe, is 37 or 38. 1 to 2. I think he's 37. But either way, he was a couple years older than me, so we were still on the same bullshit. Like, either one of us could have been in each other's situation because of our age and our wisdom.
Yeah.
2 different walks of life, but just keeping each other balanced. Like, today, I feel like if I had to explain me his situation today, he does him and I do me. You know what I'm saying? I text him every now and then to make sure he's okay. He'll respond back. Sometimes it'll be lengthy, sometimes it'll be quick. But, you know, that me learning the business more nowadays, I understand how busy he has to be. Because I'm busy as fuck. And I'm not even at the level he's at. Like, I'm pretty sure his offers and his inbox and his emails are probably crazy. He probably didn't even get the answer on them. So whenever anybody of that stature that I know, because I know a lot of people like this, like on a personal, like if I hit them up and I say I need to talk, they'll pick up the phone. A lot of people like that, I have a lot of respect for them because I know now what they go through, seeing that I'm in some type of light, like how they are. Like I'm being hit up and I'm being asked to do things. So, you know, shout out to Hollow, man. Shout out to Hollow. Shout out to LOM.
Shout out to them, man. Now, here's my question in regards to that. And I did post this on Twitter some time ago as far as battle rap. I got 2 questions first. So my first question is, have you ever considered going like into like at the time the battle rap league, like Smack or nothing?
No. Hell no.
Why? What's why? What's that reason? I want to know.
I'm gonna tell the fans. Okay, so listen. Anybody who's listening to this, motherfucker, turn it up, press screen record, do what you gotta do, record this, and post it on your fucking highlights. I have a terrible memory.
Oh wow.
I cannot remember shit. So if you want me to remember 5 minutes of work, which is about 5 minutes of work is about 10 16s. Bruh, I couldn't even remember 116. About 10 years ago, I could remember 116 in 3 days. So if you want me to remember 5 minutes of work for one round, then another 5 for another round, another 5 for another round, you're not going to get a good performance.
So that's
how you know everything for me is always off of the top of my head. I have a terrible memory.
So would you think that being that with what you're saying, so are you saying that freestyling and battle rap is, you know, underappreciated, or is it just kind of like overrated?
What's happened is it's become a production. It's just like film. Like you got to remember your lines.
Right.
But the only difference is it's harder because you're recording the movie live when you do battle rap. You're recording it live. Like, if you fuck up on your lines in the middle of the script and you're filming, you know what I'm saying, act 1 or whatever, act 2, act 3, whatever, they can cut and they can go to another scene and y'all just be there all night. But with battle rap, if you fuck up, you get stoned. Like, battle rappers probably have the hardest job in the world because you're not allowed to mess up. Because if you mess up, you get taxed. People will bury you. Like, you can't stumble, you can't slip on a word. But at the same time, though, that's where freestyling actually helps you, because if you can rebuttal, or if you can come up with something hot and find your place, then you're good. Like me, I won't say my memory is terrible, but I am a impulse memory. Like, I remember things based off the impulse. Like, if I know the first couple of lines, I remember the whole verse. Sometimes I have to get started in order to remember everything. But with battle rap, people are not going to be that lenient with you. Because if I'm rapping, yo, I'm over here walking down to the 7-Eleven, Mac 11 on my hip hop, I have to send him to heaven, and next thing you, shit, right there you're going to get booed. You don't have a moment, you don't have a second to remember. Even if you say, okay, I got it, you have to wait for the crowd to calm down for them to stop booing just for you to get back. And then by the time they calm down, you might have lost your place again. Like, you get caught up in a moment. Your opponent might start taunting. It's a lot of shit that goes in there. It takes a lot of concentration, a lot of discipline. Yeah. You'll never see you on that stage, ever.
Do you prefer audience or just you and your opponent? Because when COVID hit, and when COVID, when we started coming back outside, they was doing, you were like Smack was doing, they was doing a lot of battles on caffeine. And at the time, they were still just kind of like just the battlers, the artists, and like their crew, but it wasn't like no crowd. Like, do you prefer the audience or the no crowd when you watch battle rap?
Me personally, if I was a professional, if I was like a professional battle rapper, like, you know what I'm saying, my friends like Hollow, and then I would prefer the smaller room. I would like an audience, but I want the smaller room, like maybe 50 to 150 people. Okay. Because I want people to hear what I'm rapping. Like, you have to write for the room. Like, if I'm doing a room of 2,000, 3,000 people, I have to write my bars for that room. So things have to hit a lot faster. I can't really build up too long because they're going to get restless. You have to write towards the room. So if it's a smaller room, I have a time to talk to them and build it up. Like, I have a time to take them down the street for a little bit before I give them a punch. Versus in a big room, I'll be punching back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Because you have to have that room entertained. Or else they're going to start booming. Because people get restless in a big crowd. So as far as me, like right now, like me, like not being famous, shit, I don't give a fuck. But it really depends on the situation. Like, am I doing this for fun, or do I really hate you? If I really hate you, then I'm gonna want to be in a small room so I can do what I want with you. But if it's just for fun, I'd rather do it on the big stage because we can just put on a show for the people. Right? Like, shit, I battle you if somebody tell you. I don't give a fuck. I battle you. But see, the thing is, though, is just
you don't want these balls, man. I mean,
I don't want no problems. But my whole thing is just, it don't matter. It just depends on what's the setting. Like, in any situation, that's when you know you're dealing with a professional. Like, if somebody asks you, like, if you call up a gardener, he's like, I need my grass cut. And he just says, all right, my price is this, then he's a novice. You gotta ask the question, what's the setting? Okay, well, do you have front yard, back yard? You know what I'm saying? Do you want lining as well? Do you want me to line it up? You know, what do you have to deal with? How many square acres are you dealing with? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, sound like a true professional, man. That's one thing I will also say respect about you. And before I get into the next question, I do want to put a disclaimer out there on why I call him the light-skinned twin, right? So, me and him, like I said, we from the same area. We both like rap. We both like wrestling. We both like gaming, right? And I always felt like, okay, yeah, he's older than me by a little bit, but it's almost like, we're kind of into the same things. We kind of sometimes feel the same things. We're both, we feel strongly about, like parenting and certain things, and I just say, yeah, he like I was just thinking about this when I was getting ready to come home to do this have this episode, which I was like, man, it's like if there was an evolution, it was more like, so for me, because I'm a little bit, like I'm into everything. Sometimes, the what they call it, it's like the master. I'm the master of none, but I know a little something here and there. But my guy Phokis here, he's, you're a very intelligent guy, and you, like I said, you spent, a lot of time, like I said, as an artist, and I know you did, for those of you who don't know, just, you being well diverse and well connected into, just music, and you also have like experience in other things, and like I said, you're I would say you're cerebral, shout out to Triple H. So, but my question also was when you mentioned the battle rapping and having an audience. So what is your take on the judging system in battle rap?
Can you elaborate on that? Like, what exactly is the question specifically?
Do you feel as though the battle rap scene need judges, or should it just be kind of like one of those things that you and another artist and your opponent get busy, and you kind of just let the realm of society and the culture just decide, kind of like how the debate between Biggie and Pop, because they dead now. A lot of people say they Pop, a lot of people say Biggie. So as far as the judging system is, do you feel like that there should be judges in battle rap, or should it just be an enjoyment of guys going at it and bringing the heat, bringing those bars, and just allowing the people to just react to it?
I think it depends on the objective. Like, you gotta look at it like this. Like, you got a lot of leagues, a lot of battles in the book mainly to do numbers. And those type of battles, I feel like should not be judged. And that's just because of the objective. Like, if your objective is just to produce numbers, then obviously you're not going to be worried about who had the hottest rap or who's the winner, who's the loser. Because sometimes the person that's the loser is the person who books the show. They book the tickets. So it's like, you have to think, what mind am I looking at this through? Am I looking at this through a mind of the league owner, or am I looking at this as a mind of the fan? The fan is going to want everything judged. Because the fan wants to be able to say, this person won or this person lost. They want their opinion, like they had those types of things going on. But the league owner doesn't care about none of that shit. The league owner just wants to make sure that the show is packed, they recoup their money. I don't give a fuck if he lost or not. He could have got 30. And if fans listening don't know, 30 just basically means you got beat off 3 rounds.
Yeah.
If you get 30, they don't give a fuck. You brought 30,000 people to the stream, and you helped me recoup my money. So I'm gonna book you again. I don't give a fuck how bad you got beat. I don't care who fucked your baby mom. I don't care what you did last summer. I don't care who you snitched on. You're going to book your snitching ass with your baby mama back on stage next battle.
Oh, my God.
Because you know why? You helped me get my money back. So it really all depends on the objective. Me personally, would I like battles judged? I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't work because too many people have too many different opinions. Mm-hmm. Like, some people think more with their heart than they do with their mind. Like, I like Arsenal. I think Arsenal is a very good battle rapper.
Yeah, he hard,
but
man.
Arsenal's fire. He's a legend. But definitely. Arsenal, if you ask Arsenal, he's very arrogant. If you ask Arsenal say he's never lost a battle.
Well, yeah,
that's why you need judging for people like that. So somebody can say, nah, you lost this one, bro.
But they still gonna argue it. They still gonna argue it though, because again, it's
So let's just do away with judging altogether. Let's just let it be a performance.
Yeah.
And let's let the fans debate it, because the more people talk about it, the more it's promoted. That's the business mindset. But as far as competition, I think it'd be great to have battles just for the competition part of it, so they can actually be a winner. But as far as for like fans to debate for the business aspect of battle rap to build and grow, yes, absolutely. No, don't judge it. Have a poll and then let people debate the poll, because there's going to be another poll that's absolutely opposite of that poll.
Yeah.
The caffeine poll is going to be different from the URL app poll.
Yeah.
The URL app poll is going to be different from the Twitter space Galactic Gods poll or whoever the fuck. It's always going to be a different thing.
Yeah.
No matter where you go.
They should treat it
like
like
this. We can go get our haircut tomorrow, bro. We can go get our haircut tomorrow in the barbershop, and they'll say Averb is the greatest battle rapper ever.
They should all get the thing.
And we'll go to the mall the next day and go buy some shit, and they'll be like, damn, Averb is terrible. Like, you can't win with people.
Yeah, they should do it. I think they should do it like the elections. I think that was one thing that, because like I said, like my nephew, he actually just had his first battle. He just turned 18 in February. You know, we went to Scotty Quicks in Norfolk. Shout out to Mark Fisher. You know, he set that up with the Headhunters TV, and you know, my nephew, he was battling this guy. And I heard my nephew rap. He got stuff. I shout out to my nephew Maxwell Matthews, Fro Wonders, my brother.
I gotta go with you with one of them too, because I gotta meet them. Because I heard so much about the Headhunters, but I just haven't had the pleasure to be there.
You said you have a what?
I haven't had the pleasure to be there.
Yeah, but what you said before that?
I was saying, like, I've heard so much about them, like, you know, like I've heard about them. Shout out to Big K and shout out to Av.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was there. You know, my nephew, because as a matter of fact, I'll say this, shout out to Av, because, you know, I heard of him, but I know my nephew was at the event, because, like I said, this is my first time going to one of those. I'm like, man, Virginia battle rap scene is kind of hard. Like, you know, there was this guy up there, I forgot his name, he kind of reminded me of Arsenal a little bit, he kind of looked like him too, but just not because, like, what he was, like, saying, but he was, like, real aggressive with it, just, like, in your face, just giving hard balls, and that was one thing that I will address in a second of another jewel that you dropped on me a long time ago. So my nephew had said something, and I was like, oh man, and I hope it put it up. But you know, Headhunters, like again, I think they was gone for a minute, but they do a lot of battles there, and VA, I guess, and we just happened to be at Scotty Quicks. But I know one bar, I don't know the whole bar, but I just remember my nephew saying, "Respect for you, I lost it all. I'll go to your hood and walk my dog," and then everybody just kind of went crazy. And then like when the battle was over with, they did 3 rounds. I said, when do you find out if y'all win? Do y'all like wait until the end of the event, or are they about to do it? He was like, we let the culture aside. It's an unjudged event, and that was kind of made me pose.
It always goes back to the footage.
Yeah, and it was
it's recorded, so it goes to the footage, and people watch it, and then people had the talks, and usually by the time the footage comes out, it's usually very clear decision.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Everything looks different on the camera.
Yeah.
Same way I was saying, like you write for the room. Some people write for the room, and some people write for the camera.
Yeah, and that was one of the things you mentioned like a long time ago. Cause when we was talking rap, and you talked about as far as like, you know, hey, sometimes people kind of gas artists up. Like even as a battle rapper, you know, you got your friends, and then you got your friends. Of course, your friends are gonna support you. Of course, your friends are gonna do this. But when you're like, say if you said a hard bar, and maybe somebody never heard that bar as hard in a long time, so it might not be as good as you think it is until they have time to kind of think about it. Because when you go on impulse, a lot of times you're just like you're reacting, and that's the thing why I asked if you prefer, you know, audience or empty arena, because sometimes the reaction of the crowd can influence the judges. It's just like fighting. It's just like MMA fighting and anything else. Like when people be like, "Oh, it's not," because it's like okay because the performance. It's okay. The people like this bar, so they gonna be like, okay. The people like this bar. I'm gonna go with this because people was more entertained by it. You know.
But now also even with that though, even the reaction can throw you off sometimes. Like sometimes the crowd getting too hyped, that can throw you off. So, like, if I said, like, a bar, like how you saying, like, a bar people heard or haven't heard before, like, all right, if you were standing behind me, you would know this bar because you would hear the build-up. If I said something like, no homo, but we cop arms, drop bombs. I've been doing this a long time, ever since VA's hottest rapper, .com is coming. If everybody says that, then I would probably turn around and let me kill him. I say that, but just that one stop could either build up the momentum because everybody go crazy because y'all knew it and they're in that moment, or it could throw me off because I forget where I'm at in my round. That's why I say I can't remember shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't. I'm not gonna say I can't do anything. But let's just say I haven't done it before, and when I tried it, my memory was terrible. And I don't want to put my legacy on the line trying to remember bars put on the show. But to stick more so to your point, bro, it's really just this simple. When it comes down to rap, it all depends on what the objective is. If you paying me to kill this dude, you want me to battle him, whatever, what are we doing? Do I like this dude? Do I know him? I don't know. Some people have hidden agendas. You might end up battling somebody you don't know hates you. You might just write like a decent round with metaphors and shit. You might have did all this research. You might have been like, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, hey, yo, look. Yo, back in the day, I used to go to a school called Kickertown. You know, I'm all right now, but back then I want a bigger man. I was just a fan. I seen a dude named Phokis. He always told me I would never get a fan. I was like, hold on, goddamn. Now I got the gun in my hand, and I bet you this bitch won't jam. He'll say something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, I don't even know who you are. But I might have been on some bullshit back then, so you never know who you're battling. It depends on what the agenda is. Yeah. And if that's the case, and you got 3 rounds that are all nice and catered and cultured and cuddly and shit, you about to get cooked. So you got to be able to adjust. And that's where freestyling comes in. Then you got to take another game. Because it's like, yo, he's coming for my neck. Now I got to rebuttal. I got to make it, even if it ain't true. Well, I ain't going to say if it ain't true, but I got to put some sauce on it. Like, yeah, I do remember you from the bus. Little crusty old dusty ass nigga. One of the motherfucking, if I ever had this nigga anywhere 5 feet close to me, the bitches wouldn't trust me ass nigga. Like, I have to rebuttal it and make it sound, I have to rebuttal your round in order to win. That's what freestyling is good at.
Yeah.
And you got to know how not to go too long versus, cutting it short and getting back into your material. It's all like impulse. And then when you see the footage, you're going to feel good about it when you get done with the battle, but the footage is going to tell the tale because people will tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just the battle rap shit. Like, you asked about battle rap. I didn't necessarily want to get too much into it because my battle rap shit at this moment is more so about analyzing. And I don't really have that much influence anymore because I'm not really into the media. But people still respect me for what I do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can catch me on Twitter, PHOKIS, at PHOKIS. You know what I'm saying? And y'all see me up there. I'm tapped in with all the big names. Tapped in with all of them. Even if they hate me, they still know who I am. But I really don't focus that much more on battle rap because it's the crabs in the barrel type thing. Battle rap is very evil, and it's very few. Out of 100%, it's maybe about 35, 40 maximum that are really there for the culture. And the rest are there for a check or to use the culture to get money. Other than that, and I'm sorry if I'm kicking anybody in the dick, but niggas really don't got money. They're really all, cutting each other down to get ahead. It's maybe 40% of people that are really for the culture.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds crazy, but shit, if you want to test the theory, then fuck it, let's debate it. But it's really 40% of the people that are for the culture. And I'm talking about the community, not the battle rappers. The battle rappers are out here trying to get big, make a brand and build themselves up. Let's take this battle, let's raise our stock, let's raise our resumes. But the culture, 40% of the culture is for the culture, and the other 60 is trying to eat off her. Whether they get a mention off of a famous battle rapper, whether they get close to somebody so they get famous off of that, the other 60% is some bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I don't even want to go too much more deeper into it. I just had to give that little tidbit because I was fucking with battle rap all the way before 09. Like I told you, I was fucking back when the shit was HBO specials on.
Yeah,
but
man.
This new shit now, man, it's something different, bro. I can't lock into it. I jump in, I jump out,
Yeah, and And before and I think Pusha T made a point. I seen a clip on Instagram. He was talking to Charlamagne. I haven't seen the whole interview yet, but he talked about how like the industry. And I think you kind of said something in relevance to it, not to that, but it was kind of like similar to what you was talking about as far as like now, just rapping is, you're just trying to bring the fun back. But I think Pusha was mentioning how like now everybody it's more like a hustle now. And then, before it was kind of like, we was actually like, it was serious. And, because back then, I just finished looking at this Netflix documentary called Hip Hop Revolution. And it was like, there was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. But, with you coming up into rapping from, being influenced by the Jay-Z's, the Nas, the Pacs, the DMX's, man, like that's you was influenced by the Messiah, the Mecca of hip hop, New York. And battle rap, that the same thing. The first set of battle rapping I remember was like, again, the Smack DVDs, Jay Mills when he was battle rapping. I come from the era of Serious Jones, and even though, like I said, I was never really like heavy on battle rap like I am with just rapping in general. It was, battle rapping was still kind of good because, again, I like the ciphers. I like the, just the straight up freestyles, Used to watch Flex and everything and Sways when they used to freestyle. I did. But like I said, Serious Jones and all those guys, like Surf is one of those other pioneers, Hollow, another one of those pioneers. And I was just like, man, now, again, everything's a bag now, which I'm not knocking it. But for you, where are you at this point in your life? You mentioned, being 35 now, like where someone who's been doing it for over 20 years, because you did just release a project recently, but where are you like in music? Like are you still pursuing it in a way, or is it just more so like you just want to, release some old stuff to kind of give it for the people who still support you?
What I meant with music is kind of like, I don't want to say I'm trying to find my place because I am my place. Like, I have my own place. Like, regardless what I do when I drop, I don't give a fuck what the style is. It's hot as hell. I'm out. So y'all ain't gonna get with this. Y'all gotta move around. You know what I'm saying? Because can't nobody stand next to me talent-wise, but there's so much business in place now. Like, it's so much business in place now, and it's just like, damn, like, if I don't know this part about the business, you win. So it's not fair anymore. It's like you can be really good at chess, right? But if you don't know how to call out the movements on the chessboard, like, all right, I'm moving this to B4 or whatever the numbers are on the chessboard, then it's like, damn, we don't know the business part. So you can't even play lead because you have to call that out. You just can't move as you wish. You have to call it out. That's what rap is now. You got to know the business. You can suck and know the business and be the hottest rapper in the game.
Yeah.
So as far as where I'm at in music now, shit, I mean, I dropped the project, people are loving it, you know what I'm saying, apparently, and I appreciate all that, you know what I'm saying, all the care, support.
The care support, yeah, the care support, the cancer care bear, just, you heard it here, but,
yeah.
So,
but nah, just to tie a bow on that, all I'm gonna say is just, I'm still looking to get out here and kick some more ass, but I'm just taking care of the business right now. That's a lot of business to take care of that I didn't do the first time around when I dropped 80 Show and Lucy's tape. And now we're dropping this. I'm taking care of all the business I should have been taking care of.
Yeah, you mean with the Memories of an Ex-Rapper?
Memories of an Ex-Rapper. I'm doing all the promotion I need to do. I'm talking to companies. I'm looking for sponsors. I'm pushing the product. I'm getting my marketing right. I'm getting my promo game good. I'm getting my image together. I got a website now, which, everybody listening, it's phokismusic.com, phokismusic.com. But the thing is that I didn't have all that originally. And it's been 2 years. So I'm actually doing a lot of back pay to myself. But yeah, if I get a handle on this shit, it's going to be bad. Because if I know how to do what I used to do back then, this time, it's just going to be a repeat. People just going to be mad because they can't keep up. And everybody outside of Virginia region, which I don't know why Virginia is like this, everybody outside of Virginia region is going to fuck with me. And everybody inside of Virginia region is like, it's going to be what it is.
What now? I don't know. Well, of course, there's hate everywhere in every city, but maybe I'm a share a take with you. I'm not gonna quote him verbatim.
Real quick. I don't even call it hate, bro. It's not even hate. It's just not understanding. Because people be so arrogant that they feel like if they didn't figure it out, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's crazy. It's not even hate. It's just you figured out a different way to get to where they wanted to get to faster, quicker, more efficient, and it's getting more response. And they don't understand it. So since they don't understand it, they just hate it. Like, oh, fuck, man, he had to cheat. I didn't cheat. I was smart.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you hating. I wasn't saying that you was hating. I was talking.
No. I'm not saying that you're saying I was hating. I'm just saying that it's not even hating from them. It's just they don't understand how you get to where you're at. So versus trying to talk to you and build with you, they'd rather kick you in the dick. Like, you ain't even got to do all that. All you got to do is just hit me up and talk with me. Like, you can even lie to me, try to be my friend and shit. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's go out and shoot some pool, bro. Lie to me and shit.
She said lie to me.
Fuck with me. Yeah, that's what they do anyway. They all liars. All these rappers are all liars. Ain't none of this shit true. Nothing's real. Remember that. Nothing is real.
Yeah. 50 had dropped that bomb a while back, and I actually did wanna kind of one thing is with that is like you got guys like you mentioned, you know, it's the entitlement, you know, and that's how people are now. One thing's about me, you know, one thing is about me personally, and this is like another thing why I respect it, because again, it's like, yeah, you know, you're like I said, care, the support, all that, you know, you're gonna support and, you know, have your fan base and you show that love back. One thing also about me is like, you know, me, I'm not one of them guys, and I know you're not one of those guys neither. You know, the hate doesn't motivate me. Me personally, hate don't motivate me. Like anybody who have I'm one of those guys like, look, don't hate me, just ask me. You can come to me and ask me how I get. Like, so I'm not the master of everything, but instead of hating on me, how about you come to me and ask me how did I get to this position? Because, and that's the thing about the industry, whether it's music, whether it's entertainment, whether it's anything, when they're dealing with, you know, some type of elevation, it's like people, it's always a competition. People always in competition with each other. Not everybody, like, for some reason we have this complex that, you know, hey, it's like you said, if somebody found this out first or did this first, you know, they gonna sit there and try to knock you down. And I don't know why. I don't know if it has anything to do with like the ego, the pride, like I said, arrogance, but it's like some things, again, it's just pointless to me. And that kind of goes back to, it's going to come back to another question I was going to ask you is, what are some artists that influence you now to kind of want to, like you said, you're trying to get your business right now? Are there any like influences like in the game now that kind of influence you to do that?
I would say like currently,
yeah.
Like what I'm on like right now is J. Cole. Because because I like his growth. And I'm gonna try to keep this concise, but the way I put my shit together, like it's just so like to express how my mind works. I don't have a science to it. I have to try to break it down to you from like when I first remembered. So like I went down a rabbit hole and I was listening to old J. Cole mixtapes. But first I listened to the off season again. And I listened to off season and I was like, damn, it's crazy how he can still be who he is, even with the new type of sound. He switched up his flow a little bit just to blend with the times, but he was still cold.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, how'd he do that? So I went back. I'm giving y'all some sauce right now. I went back and I remembered why it is that I loved him. And then I was like, why do I still love him? What changed and how do I still love him even though it changed? And I got that from listening to the warm-up, Friday Night Lights, yours truly, and then I skipped forward. I skipped the albums. and I went straight to where we're at today, which is off season. And KOD, I listened to KOD too. And I was like, yo, he made a perfect transition. I don't know. It takes a team, bro. It's not one person. It takes a team. And that's probably why he loves his team. He loves Dreamville the way he loves them, because it takes a team to help hold you up. And the way you pay them back is by having their back just like how they had yours.
Real.
And that's for putting your material together, whether if it's not even your bars, but just putting your material together, your direction. Like, yo, your album is missing this, bro. You got to have a track about that. And then you go upstairs and you write it and you record it, and you're like, okay, now your shit is perfect. What if it's something as simple as that? It takes a team. And that's who I listen to recently to get on my shit. Like, the spark has been relit for me by listening to J. Cole, old J. Cole, specifically Warm Up, Friday Night's Lights, and Yours Truly, and Off Season, specifically.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap the wrapping up. Let me just say this one thing with Cole. Okay, so if you could have him do one versus, I don't know if you watch him, but if you could have him do one versus, because I know how we had these conversations before about Cole. If you could have him do one versus with any other artist from the past, the present, like up and coming, who would it be? You can include yourself if you want.
Nah, I wouldn't even. My catalog isn't together enough to go at Cole. So,
you got 20 records. You got 20 records.
Yeah, I definitely have 20. I have 30 right now on all streaming platforms. Y'all can check all those out on FokisMusic.com. But nah, who I would like to see Cole against? I mean, like with 20 records.
It don't matter of fact. It don't even have to be up to the versus standards. It don't even have to be because versus standards.
No, let's do versus just to keep it interesting.
Their standards, so there's their hit record, their commercial hit records. Then, okay.
No, because versus has changed. Like that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
It ain't even just about hit records no more. It's just about you got 20, I got 20. You gotta adjust. Like you gotta have like 40 on deck, but you gotta be able to adjust to fit those 40 into your 20 based on how the battles.
Fair enough.
So, who I would like to see Cole against? Honestly, I would say Kendrick.
Kendrick?
Yeah.
Why Kendrick?
Because I want Phokis. I want to show the difference in lyrics. Because they both rap a similar style because they have a storytelling music that hits your soul style. And shout out to Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like a huge Kendrick fan coming up. I really didn't even know him until he did Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
But his mixtapes is fire as well, but I just don't think he fucking with Cole. And I think that Cole would shut it down if he had to do 20 songs against Kendrick, because every style of rap Kendrick has, Cole could match. But every style of rap Cole has, I don't think Kendrick could match.
So who you think will be on his level then?
What, Cole?
So that's why I was asking. You know, it was kind of like, I mean, you the rap dude. So like, who you think? Like, that's why I said past, present, whoever. Like, if you, because you said he would wash Kendrick pretty much. So who would give him a good little match? Like, I mean, even if you want to say Jay-Z or somebody like.
Nah, Cole is to me, and I don't want to overstep my boundaries by saying this, because Cole doesn't have Jay-Z's flashiness, but he has his flow.
Mm-hmm.
But he has Nas's content. Cole is like a hybrid between Jay-Z and Nas because he has Jay-Z's flow, but he has Nas's content. Nas can flow, but Jay-Z has a flashy flow. But he also has flashy content as well. Cole doesn't have a flashy content. Cole will hit you in your soul with some bars. So, honestly, on his level, I mean, he would have to battle the past him. The past him is Nas. The current Nas is Cole. The past Cole is Nas. So
I'm going to tell this to everybody listening. Thank you again. And you heard it first from Virginia's hottest rapper, Phokis.
Yeah.
OVO Foe, you know, because here's the thing. We got to stop kind of, we got, like I said, we got to get these young, because Cole, you know, he's still, you know, he's a vet in the game now, but he's still, like, you know, like I say, he mentioned the Jay-Z, but this is the one thing about being a student of the game. You know, Jay-Z, you know, he only gets better in time, but those who learn from him, those who learn from Nas, they definitely have the potential and the credentials to surpass them because it's kind of like a hybrid. You got somebody, you got your teacher, and then you have your own. So it's kind of like, okay, Jay-Z's only Jay-Z. But, you know, like you said, he's the today's Nas. Cole got Nas, Cole got him. So it's like, it's okay, people, to say a newer artist like a Drake or a Cole is better than these legends that we admire so much. And it is okay. So you heard it here on Anna Blair Podcast. And I just got confirmation from Virginia's hottest rapper himself, Phokis. Music. Now, let's get into some gaming. Because it's no secret. Those of you who are listening knows that, you know, he raps. I just wanted to get a little bit more, you know, backstory on what he was doing, where he came from, and what he's doing today. And this is still kind of in the music realm because the website, give them the website one more time.
You know, it was something like, I think it was www. www.phokis, Phokis, music, not like music social, but music, music.com. So phokismusic.com. So you get everything about me there. Everything.
So with that, you know, I'm on the website. There's no www there, but you can still do that. So I still Phokis music. So what we're looking at, he do have videos. He do have booking and contacts. Mm-hmm. And then there's also gaming. Mm-hmm. And I want to get right to it. Like, how did that come about? Like, what inspired the name? How did you decide that you wanted to do streaming, and how is that going?
So, oh man, this is another story. I gotta take y'all. My life isn't simple, bro. I don't just figure things out and be impulse. So I'm gonna try to take y'all that memory lane real quick. So, shout out to Adam. Shout out to Financial Felons. That's Financial Felons with a Z.com.
Shout out to Adam, man. I got some stuff from him. Y'all gotta check out the website. It will be there on the pod and the description. He will. So shout out to him. Shout out to him.
For sure. Shout out Adam. So you got Adam. Adam introduced me to Call of Duty. I didn't know what it was when I first seen it. I got into it. I got the game. I was terrible at it. I just played the waves because I wasn't good online. Then he took me online. I got my ass kicked. I was going like 4 and like 20, shit like that. Dang. Like dying 20 times and killing only 4 people.
Sound like me now.
So fast forward several years, I started getting into wanting to be good. So like, let me really sit down and focus on this shit because I put too much time into this to be bad. Anything I put time into, I gotta smoke. So I figured out the ins and outs. I got good. I started going even. Going even in Call of Duty is getting a 1. That's basically an even ratio, whether if it's 10 and 10, 20 and 20, 15 and 15, going even. Then I started going positive, which obviously means you get more deaths, more kills, you do deaths. And moving into Warzone. Warzone was created sometime around late 2019, I want to say. It was a derivative off of Modern Warfare, which was the first PS4 Call of Duty game made by Activision, or Infinity Ward, rather. And when that came out, I started taking the game very seriously. But a little bit around 2021, I want to say, Adam got me into streaming because he was streaming and I admired him and I admired a couple other homies to stream. He got me to streaming. I was like, damn, well, shit, I want to do this. And I got into it and I started learning how to put on a show. I started putting my talent, my personality and everything into the streaming shit. I was like, damn, well, I can enjoy killing people in the game and fucking people up and stream at the same time. I could put on a whole show. That's one thing it is that I feel like, because Adam definitely puts on a show. But as far as I go, it's very few people that can hang with me when it comes to putting on a show. So that's why streaming came naturally to me, because it was just a show. It was a performance. I log on, turn on the camera, as I still do to this day, which, it'll be, twitch.tv/Verdance, Verdansk, Judas. And you can see me stream live. You can follow me up there. But either way, I'll put on a show. And that's where I'm at with it today. Now it is a very decent business. It's paying me. And I'm getting good engagements with my people. We're meeting, we're connecting, we're bonding, we're building, we're doing business. It's very fun to do. And I will be streaming. Let me see, what time is it? It's 10:30. Probably not tonight, because it's getting late. But probably tomorrow I'll be streaming. I don't know how much to answer your question, but
yeah, that's good.
I'm primarily a Call of Duty dude, but I stream other games. I stream Guardians of the Galaxy. I stream, Streets of Rage. I go retro.
Oh man, classic.
Games.
Streets of Rage, classic. They got that on PlayStation.
No, I stream off PC as well.
Nice.
Gaming PC.
Nice.
So I have anything that anybody would ever want to see. I've streamed GoldenEye 007 before.
Classic.
Like, basically, my point of saying all this is that if you go to my stream, I'm putting on a show. I'm talking shit like this. I'm fucking people up. Somebody try to run up on me. I turn around, shoot them, kill them. I'm screaming out pussy. I'm taking a shot. I'm doing all kind of shit while I'm streaming. So it's a whole show, a whole interactive. So get to know me, man.
Yeah, that's
music.com.
So where did that name Verdance Judas come from? Because Judas portrayed Jesus, right?
I know he did. So this is where it came from. So Verdance is the land that originally we fought in the war zone. It was the land that was created for us to battle on.
Right.
Verdance.
Right, I know that one.
Judas is basically me fucking up anybody that jumped into Verdance. Because I felt like the game betrayed me, because the game used to be fun and they started changing it up and making it easier for sorry ass players to be good. So I called myself the Verdance Judas.
Nice.
I was the Judas that turned his back on Verdance. Now I'm coming out to kill every motherfucker that jumps out the plane to come and see me in Verdance. Verdance Judas.
So it's more. So I got it, because it's kind of like it's just the gaming version of Angry Joe Budden, right?
Basically, that's why that switched.
That respect, man. Like, and I will mention, like, again, listeners, those who know me, know, like, again, like I said, I'm loving, I'm giving, I do that, and like I say, my light skinned twin here, again, one more time, shout out to Adam, because like this guy, he's not afraid to, give pay his dues. Like he just said, this guy put me into streaming and gaming. Like a lot of men don't even do that. Men don't want to give other men credit a lot of times, and that's why I always.
Let me just say this real quick, just to punch in. As far as the Angry Joe Budden thing, shout out to Joe Budden. But as far as the Angry Joe Budden thing, the moniker was more so a parody. It was more so a parody of when Joe Budden's angry, everybody knows he's about to turn up. Like, when he's angry, he's pissed, he's about to do something else. Uncontrollable rage, you just got to deal with it. There's nothing you can do. That's where that came from as far as gaming comes from. It wasn't like Angry Joe Budden as a parody to make fun of him. It was more so like Angry Joe Budden, okay, I'm angry. Joe Budden's like my favorite rapper, so let's do what we got to do. It was just kind of a play off of his name. That's all it was. I just had to clear it up, because a lot of people take a narrative around it. So you got to put some sauce on it before they get a chance to spin it.
Yeah, and that's what this podcast is about, changing the narrative, correcting the narrative, because, people can always assume and believe what they want to believe, but like I always say, if I ain't say it, it's irrelevant. So even if I say it and then then whatever assumptions you have after that, it's on you. We're not always owed explanations, but sometimes we just have to put it out there just so that because we're in the era of accountability. And shout out to Joe Budden too. I haven't listened to any of his podcasts lately, but which is another alliance that me and Fo have, because we're both Joe Budden fans. and him, being more in that mix. Shout out to Desert Storm East. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because, like I said, Phokis, man, like this, my brother from another man. Like he, like I said, he's not afraid to, give another men their respect and just do. Because I did happen to meet Adam before. I was, Financial Felons, uncuff your dreams. So those of you who, have, support, and like the link is going to be in the description box of this episode. And one thing like that I was actually going to actually ask, because again, that was something else that I was like, because I'm a gang dude myself. I mean, I do a lot of, play wrestling. I kind of play Call of Duty sometimes. But I remember when it was kind of funny because it's almost like I said, it's kind of like, I'm at a certain level, and then it got Phokis. He's kind of like the evolution, because I was like, I said, I just didn't have the equipment. Like I had got cameras and stuff. So when I was like, oh, he does gaming and streaming, I said, that's kind of ironic because I was actually into that. Because, my nephew kind of put me on to like Twitch. I think I knew about it, but then he kind of sent me the thing to watch him play it. But when I seen you doing streaming, I was like, oh man, he does streaming. And then, like I said, I spoke with Adam before. I didn't know he was doing streaming at the time, but then I said he was doing. So these guys, yeah, I know a lot of these guys. These guys are respectful guys. These are guys in our age range. We're in our 30s. Down to earth dudes, respectable dudes, guys. Just we ain't like these tough guys claim to be tough or nothing, but just guys who enjoy things that people kind of deem like, hey, you shouldn't be you're playing games and streaming. But it's like, it's not even really like, for me personally, I don't know why you and him do it, but the streaming or even just playing the games in general, and sharing it, because I'm all about allowing people to unravel, to get a little bit more personal with, things. So that's the one thing I will say about social media, is that it does allow us to get stuff. But streaming is pretty cool, because it's like,
for me, let me say this before you get into that. So I'm gonna answer the question that you kind of like rhetorically asked, but you left space open for answering. So I can't really speak for Adam, but the reason why I stream is because, like, when I play like Call of Duty, I'm starting to really get into adventure games a little bit more. But when I play Call of Duty, I feel like when it's me against you, when it's person versus person, I feel like I know I'm the shit and you think you the shit. So we just gotta see who really the shit. As I do that, I'm gonna put on a show while I do that.
Yeah, man. That's all
that is. That's all it is. To answer your question, that's what I should.
That's the competitiveness.
My people, and I want them to actually get a chance to talk to me in person, like see me move, like while I'm here, like, yo, Blair, you're there, and look, check this out, Blair. If I get 3 headshots in a row, I'm gonna take a shot. Nice. But I want to make it entertaining.
No, yeah, and that's one thing. Like I said, I caught a couple of them sometimes. Like a lot of times when you're on, like I get notifications when you're on, and then sometimes like, cause I work, like I be working, and then like I said, we all got stuff going on. I be trying to catch them. Like sometimes I try to, like, okay, when I'm off, and I'll try to catch something, because at the end of the day, like I said, I still support. And one thing that you did kind of said, this was a long time ago, that also stuck with me sometimes. Do you have people that you really fuck with, and sometimes just that support, just supporting them. Because one thing about me is, like, I'm big on that. I'm big on giving. So it's like, sometimes it's like, okay, maybe I don't have time to always look at it, but I'm going to definitely watch and tune in. Like, I'm going to share it, because I'm one of them people, like, if I can't make it to an event, I'm going to still share it, maybe because somebody else might want to make it to an event. So that's kind of how I do it with that as well. Because, like, when because like I said, just like how you got your stuff, so we all got families. We all got other things that we try to do. So I try to, a lot of things you got to make time for. So I do try to at least do that. So like I said, I caught something. It was actually so it was actually kind of interesting, because you was like, you kind of started planning. You sucked at first, and I was like, oh man, that's kind of good to kind of explain, because like I said, I play it, but I got the free version, and I be getting killed all the time. Like, Call of Duty wasn't really my thing neither. Like, I played it on the mobile app, But I say, I need to start playing it more because I used to just play nothing but like wrestling games and freaking like certain like I think GTA and stuff. But I wasn't really like a big first person. The only first person game I used to play was 007, like you said, like the Golden Gun. That was a classic game on Nintendo 64. So yeah,
yeah,
man.
I did have to try to branch myself out because I didn't know how much it is that I would like the competitiveness. But as I started doing it, I realized that you know what I'm saying, I really loved it a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, man. Like I said, man. Like one thing I will say about you, like so I gotta give my appreciation live here on the pod because it's like there's certain things, and one thing one thing that I know is you can all like when there's few people that I call my friend like they're like Phokis is one of these guys.
Yeah.
That we don't have to talk every day. Like we might talk maybe once every couple months, but I know like at least when he hit me or when I hit him, it's always love. Like he ain't one of them people that's kind of like just called me when he wants to, when he wants something. I think we hung out like twice. We went to I think Thai meal. And we was having this little thing about Cole. That was when we was having a little thing about Cole because I was a Cole fan. I said he wasn't really dropping like that, so I was still trying to be like.
I believe we also played pool and I fucked you up.
We didn't play pool, man. Stop it, man. We ain't play no pool. But
well, if we would have, I would have fucked you
up. Whenever you want to do this, man. Look, I got a car now. I drive on the regular now, my friend. We can do this anytime. My God, look.
Because if I stream it on my shit and then I show you getting fucked up, you're gonna have to talk about it.
Do you? Because are you like a professional pool player? Like, do you be calling the pockets and stuff?
I got my own stick.
Because I don't be doing that. Like people be like, cause I used to like play around with my.
You don't do that. You don't want the smoke,
man. But look, man.
I got my own stick in the trunk. You don't want the smoke.
See, bowling's my thing anyway, so it don't make no difference. But we can definitely shoot. We can definitely shoot the stick one time. But that was pretty much the story, man. Like we like I said, two guys from the same area who loves rap, who loves gaming, wrestling, which we can talk about on another time. But I really just wanted to kind of have you on the show to, at least show, like, give you your flowers and appreciation. Tell the people that, hey, this is who y'all need to look out for, someone who y'all need to look into, because once again, someone he's an influence of mine when it comes to certain things. Like, I do music and rap and stuff sometimes, but the thing about it was my influence that he gave me was just kind of like just as far as like with just concerning being consistency. Like I said, he's a little bit more better than me in certain things. Like he's a I would say professional rapper, but he does this for a long time. I'm not on his level when it comes to that. But I just wanted to.
I think it's all subjective, but I appreciate that compliment.
I just wanted to give you the honor to be my first co-host, and guest on the new platform of Acast, because, like I said, I know we talked about it, and I really want to, like, again, not only, support my friends, but also promote my friends, because we did, like, one thing about me, one thing about him is there's no fakeness over here. Like, this isn't no industry thing. We ain't like two guys that's just like, hey, you help me, I help you. But it's like, we actually had these conversations in real life. But I wanted to just share just a piece of, our conversations to the world, because there might be some people out here who really feels like, when you hear podcasts or when you hear like two men talking, that, it's always some competitiveness. But it was just like, nah, but like he would say, I appreciate the love, support, the care, and we will be back. And if you have anything else,
you can't chop it up like that. It's auto care. What?
I appreciate it, but Is there anything that you else want to plug in? Anything any shout outs? Anything that you want to share with the listeners before we wrap this up?
Well, I say this. I appreciate you. Giving that a beautiful conclusion and everything. I'm definitely happy to be here on your platform and be able to speak, have a conversation with you. It's probably the most personal I think I'll probably be with anybody because a lot of the improv it is you have, and you gotta actually know me to know that. So it's like, unless it's somebody piggybacks off your platform, they're not even really gonna have access to those type of questions to ask me because they wouldn't know where to start. So it's a pleasure to be here, to be this transparent, and to connect with your people and to get to know them. And I hope they, will get to know me as well, which they can directly to my direct email and my direct contact on my site, phokismusic.com. Again, that's phokismusic.com for anybody who's just picking up on a soundbite. I really do appreciate the opportunity to be there. And man, listen, I don't know what people want to see from me, but I can only be me. And if there's something else that you want to see from me, just let me know. We can work that into the formula. I got a form on my booking and contact where you can just shoot me whatever you want to shoot me, and it goes directly to my email, and I can see it right there on my phone. So just hit me up and let me know. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, I appreciate you having me here and having this conversation with me, man. It's almost damn near almost 2 hours.
Yeah, man, that's how I get, and that's sometimes I try not to, but it's that, like when you in it, and I didn't even really want to stay on it too long with the music. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit more backstory.
But the thing is, though, it was a decent conversation. It was like it was 2 long ass hours. It was 2 hours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I want to share with people because like that's why I say with me and him, we have a real relationship, we have a real friendship. So we do speak. And we do have these conversations on a regular basis. So aside from it being on the podcast, we actually I act like some questions that I asked. I didn't ask them. I might have asked them before, but I forgot. And then I'm like, okay, I need to let's double down back on this. But once again, like I said, blessed ones. I do appreciate those for listening. Again, the information will be in the description box. Again, as always, stay safe, stay prosperous, stay productive, stay positive, and most importantly, stay focused. This is Blair, your Cancer Care Bear, and we out.
We out of here, man. Focus, baby. 80 show, baby. Yeah.